Don't you hate it when you get to the airport on time, the weather's fine, but your flight is delayed because of air traffic gridlock?
Stuck on the ground.
Officially late more than 92% of the time.
Passengers spent the next 6 hours on that jet.
How could air traffic gridlock cause delays when there's so much empty sky for planes to fly in? Here's the problem.
The air traffic control system in the United States today is technologically obsolete.
Robert W. Poole, Jr. is Director of Transportation Studies at Reason Foundation.
And this model is basically the same model we've been using since the beginning of air travel.
Back then, they'd write down the flight info, put it on one of these little white blocks, and move the blocks around. That's really how air traffic controllers kept track of planes in the sky.
An important and familiar part of this crew is the smiling hostess or stewardess.
Social norms were just as old-fashioned as the technology.
She must be healthy, single, and between the ages of 21 and 28.
At least delays weren't so bad because there weren't that many planes flying. Since then, air traffic has increased by about 3,000%. Hostesses are now flight attendants who can be men or women of any age. And how about those old white blocks? Have they been computerized? Nope, they're still used today.
You wouldn't believe how backward the technology is. Today we have radar, but we've had radar since the 1950s as the means that tells the controller where the plane is. But it's not very precise. It's only updated about once every 12 seconds, and at 500 miles an hour, a plane can go quite a ways in that time.
The technology the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, uses to navigate $200 million airliners is less advanced than the GPS technology we use to navigate $20,000 cars.
The system can't handle as many planes as it could if we had a more precise information in real time about where they all are.
Air travel is increasing, so expect our creaky old system to stick you with even more delays in the future. We could avoid that fate with better technology that would allow us to fly more planes and do it safely. So why can't the government bring the system into the 21st century?
Welcome to the John Murtha Johnstown Cambria County Airport. With a $7 million air traffic control tower, a $14 million hangar, and an $18 million runway.
The problem is how politicians spend money.
This is the John Murtha Airport at 10:30 in the morning. There is nobody here.
Seems like the Pennsylvania airport attracts more reporters than passengers.
Even so, the airport was just awarded another $800,000 in federal stimulus money to repave an alternate runway.
So much scrutiny over his pork extravaganza, but Congressman John Murtha is proud of his airport.
Murtha's earmarking of grants for his airport in Johnstown is a classic example of the excesses that Congress does.
Maybe the only way to get the politics out of our air traffic system is to take the system away from the politicians. Some say we should let a corporation manage the skies.
People are talking about running our air traffic control system like a big private corporation. That means putting profits before people.
The Air Traffic Controllers Union runs ads criticizing the proposal. And to many, it sounds like a far-out free market idea to have a private company run an air navigation system. But it turns out Canada disagrees.
Nav Canada is the private company that runs Canada's air navigation system, the second biggest in the world.
Here in Canada, folks often take pride in their nation's lavish government programs. Yet Canadians allow Nav Canada, a private company, to manage their skies. And the idea of running the air traffic control system like a business, often called commercialization, enjoys the support of some prominent Democrats.
One of the biggest champions of this during the Clinton years of ATC reform was Al Gore.
He was committed to it, and if you stopped him on the street today and asked him about it, he could tell you a lot about it.
During the Clinton administration, Bob Stone was selected by Vice President Al Gore to direct Gore's Reinventing Government initiative, which was designed to make government smarter, slimmer, and more efficient.
And now it's my honor to introduce our leader in reinventing the federal government, the Vice President of the United States, Al Gore.
In reinventing government, I didn't have a lot of great ideas, and Al Gore didn't have a lot of great ideas. What we had was the ability to look around, see where something is really working well, and say, we want to do that here in the United States. And Canada had a successful model. They had an air traffic control corporation. It was controlled by the airlines, operating as a business. in controlling air traffic, and that's what we wanted here.
Why did they want it? Better technology, for one. Remember those little white blocks, the ones used way back when to keep track of planes? The ones the U.S. still uses? NAV Canada has computerized that. And Canada is moving away from radar technology faster than the U.S.
Canada's reform has completely depoliticized air traffic control.
In America, politicians control funding, and red tape often thwarts equipment upgrades. But NAV Canada's funding comes directly from airlines. And if the company wants new technology, it just buys it.
We're as tired of flight delays as you are.
But America's Air Traffic Controllers Union is not impressed.
But selling our air traffic system to the highest bidder and putting safety at risk is not a solution.
Can we really trust a private company with something as important as aviation?
Just about all of aviation is done by private companies. The planes are made by private companies. The airlines are private, for-profit companies. Nobody makes a long-term business out of killing their customers.
Bureaucracy and red tape frustrate the American people.
Gore, Stone, and Poole agree that the U.S. should convert its air traffic system from a government bureaucracy to a self-supporting nonprofit corporation.
Delta 1697 be ready to go in 8 minutes.
After all, since commercialization, Canada's already safe skies have become even safer.
The technology, because of all the real-time information available to everyone, means that if something does go wrong, you spot it more quickly and can take corrective action.
So what happened to Al Gore's attempt to modernize our old-fashioned air traffic control system?
It was a wonderful idea, and it went absolutely nowhere.
Congress just doesn't like to give up control of anything.
There's some things that the government has to do. There's some things the government's very good at. But air traffic control is something the government doesn't have to do, and it's not very good at.
So the next time your plane is delayed, think about why you're stuck. Maybe it's because of the weather, or maybe it's because of politics. For Reason TV, I'm Nick Gillespie.